Assassin's Creed Valhalla is one of the most unique games ever made, and while it has a great story, beautiful graphics, and intense gameplay, it is not a perfect game, and there are several issues that you must know before you buy it. So stick around and find out if the game is worth it for you. But the game is an action RPG. You play as a Viking warrior, and you must lead your clan from the icy lands of Norway to more fertile and more temperate lands. Your ultimate goal is to establish a new settlement in England and expand your influence across the land. Furthermore, you'll engage in battles, form alliances, and even confront enemies, all while uncovering the secrets of the land and the ancient order known as the Templars. Throughout the game, you explore a vast open world filled with historical locations, mythical elements, and the rich Norse culture. The outcome of the game will depend heavily on your choices, affecting both your fate but also your clan's. But in terms of the main gameplay, there are several key aspects. The first one is the combat and stealth, and they are a significant part of it. It'll feature many types of weapons and abilities. You can use swords, axes, spears, and even shields, and each of them will have a very unique feel and set of moves. This means you could dual wield weapons, allowing for an even more versatile combat style. Additionally, stealth is also an option, where you use a hidden blade for silent takedowns. For an example, you might approach a heavily guarded area and then choose to either sneak in, taking out the guards quietly, or charging in head on with your axe. Another key feature is exploration, and with a massive open world filled with hidden treasures, secrets, and even lore, you can travel by foot, horse, or even longship, discovering many settlements, landmarks, and even natural wonders. Furthermore, there are also side missions called world events that often involve helping local villagers, solving puzzles, or even participating in battles. For instance, a side quest might involve helping a farmer defend his crops from bandits, while another might have you solving a riddle to unlock a hidden treasure. The game will start with the most basic mechanics. This could be simple combat, exploration, but as you progress, you'll unlock new abilities and skills through the skill tree, which can drastically change how you approach combat and even exploration. For example, you can unlock abilities that let you perform powerful finishers. This could be throwing axes at an enemy or using advanced stealth techniques. So due to all these great mechanics, the game offers a high level of replayability. This could be seen with the open world design, the numerous side quests, and the multiple ways to approach every mission. The choices you make, such as how you deal with allies and enemies, can lead to many different outcomes. So multiple playthroughs is definitely an option. One of the most important aspects of any RPG game is the progression system, and in this game, it mainly involves developing your character, as well as expanding your settlement that we'll get into later. Now in the early game, you'll start with basic weapons and skills, with a big focus on learning the core mechanics of combat, exploration, and stealth. But as you complete missions and explore, you'll gain experience points. You will level up and even unlock new skill points to enhance your abilities. As you progress to the mid and even end game, the complexity and challenges of the game will increase. You'll unlock more advanced skills, acquire better weapons and armor, and face much tougher enemies. The game will also introduce more complex storylines and even missions. By the end game, you'll be involved in major battles, making alliances, and where every decision you make can have crucial consequences. The main storyline is about establishing a new home for your clan, and the story is rich with Norse mythology and historical elements, including you interacting with various kings, nobles, and even other factions. Alongside the main story, you'll also uncover the mysteries of the Order of the Ancients, this game's version of the Templars, and their influence on England. The side quests are also known as world events and are scattered throughout the entire map and offer a variety of short stories and even activities. But while the main storyline is very crucial and a big part of the game, it is not the only thing. Exploration is also a key aspect, and the game features a large open world map with many different environments, from snowy mountains, dense forests, to bustling towns and beautiful countryside. But you don't just explore because of how beautiful it is. It is also very rewarding, as you must collect resources, collectibles, and complete side activities. For instance, you could find treasures that contain valuable gear and even materials. You could locate viewpoints to reveal part of the map and uncover more hidden secrets of the world. So in order to get the full experience of the game, you don't simply go from A to B doing the main story, but you want to combine it with the open world environment and partake in events that you come across. Now, I want to go deeper into some of the most unique aspects and what makes the game truly stand out. The first great aspect is the settlement system, where you can build and expand your own Viking settlement. So as you progress through the game, you will gather resources from raids and various missions. You can then use these resources to construct and upgrade different buildings within the settlement. These buildings could be a blacksmith, where you can upgrade your weapon and armor, a barracks for recruiting warriors, and a trading post for accessing special items, and many more. So the settlement will act as your central hub for you and your clan, and as you expand it, new buildings will provide you with additional gameplay benefits. This could be unlocking more missions, granting access to special skills, and even including offering buffs that can aid you in combat. This settlement system adds an entire extra layer of depth and strategy, as you must decide what building to prioritize based on your playstyle and needs. For example, if you chose to upgrade your barracks first, then you could recruit more powerful warriors, although enhancing the trading post will provide you access to more rare and exotic items. So this entire system allows you to engage in raids and other resource gathering activities to support the growth of your settlement. And that brings me to my next great aspect, the raiding mechanic. So the game title of Valhalla, it has a big emphasis on the Viking lifestyle. This also including raiding monasteries and enemy strongholds for their resources and their wealth. This means that you will lead raids using your longships and your crew, and upon reaching a target, you can disembark and engage in large-scale battles, where the ultimate goal is to pillage and loot valuable items. The loot from these raids are then used to upgrade your settlement and improve your own equipment. This mechanic is a core activity that ties both into the narrative but also the progression system, as it won't just provide necessary resources but also play a crucial role in the story. It is this combination of the settlement and raiding mechanics combined with the storyline and amazing progression system that makes the game truly what it is. But as you can probably imagine, with all these mechanics, the game can be quite complex, which brings me to my next point, the game difficulty. Now luckily, the game has a range of difficulty settings that can make it more accessible to new players, but also very challenging for the more hardcore gamers. So you have game modes like easy, normal, hard, and even custom, where you can adjust the combat, stealth, and even exploration difficulties independently. So this flexibility means you can tailor the game's difficulty to your exact playstyle, whether you want a more relaxed experience or a challenging one. For new players, the game is generally quite friendly, especially on the easier settings. The early parts will also include tutorials that'll introduce you to the core mechanics like combat, stealth, and exploration. For example, the game will teach you how to use the hidden blade for stealth takedowns, how to parry and dodge in combat, and how to navigate the open world using parkour. However, the game will not overly hold your hand. It provides you with just enough of the basics, but there is still big emphasis on learning through trial and error. Additionally, the game can be very hard if you choose to make it so. For instance, the boss battles and the high-level areas can be extremely difficult at the highest levels, and will require advanced combat techniques and strategy. So as an experienced player, you might face a powerful boss that requires careful observation of attack patterns and timely dodging. So without proper preparation, such as having the right gear and abilities, you can find yourself really struggling. So overall, the game's difficulty settings and the game design make it accessible and enjoyable for a big range of players, both for the casual and the more hardcore. Now, as you can tell by this video, the game is beautiful, and that brings me to my next point, the graphics, the sound and atmosphere. The game features stunning and detailed graphics that really bring the Viking era to life. The environments are beautifully rendered, showcasing diverse landscapes like snowy mountains, beautiful forests, and even bustling towns. The character models are also well designed, with quite realistic animations that overall enhances the experience. The game's sound design is equally as impressive, with realistic ambient noises that make the world feel alive. This could be the clash of weapons in combat, the sound of nature as you explore, and the hustle and bustle of a town that all contribute to the game's immersive quality. Additionally, the music is atmospheric and epic, and will enhance the overall current mood, so whether you're exploring or even in combat, it will fit with the intensity of the moment in the game. That being said, the game is not perfect, and there are several pros and cons we need to cover. The first pro is the engaging story and characters. It is a very compelling narrative with very rich character development. Additionally, the story is filled with historical and mythological elements, which teaches you a lot about the lore. The next pro is the varied gameplay. There are so many things to do, whether it's combat, exploration, puzzle solving, and even multiple ways to approach every mission. Furthermore, the settlement system and the raiding mechanic add a ton of depth and uniqueness to the gameplay, offering more than just the standard storyline. And the final pro is the immersive atmosphere. The combination of high quality sound design, atmospheric music, and a detailed and beautiful world creates a really immersive experience. The game really captures the essence of the Viking era, making you really feel a part of the game world. Now for the cons. The first con is the steep learning curve for the combat mechanic. So while the game is overall quite player friendly, the combat can be very difficult to learn, as you must master the dodges, the parries, and even using your abilities correctly. And these can all take a long time to master. The next con is the somewhat repetitive side content. So after a while, you will find the side quests and the world events quite similar, and while they do add a lot to the world, the tasks can sometimes feel quite similar and may lack variety for some players. And the final con is the pacing. The pacing of the main story can sometimes feel quite slow, where there'll be long stretches of gameplay without major developments. This results in a kind of narrative that feels less urgent and focused, especially if you normally really enjoy the main storyline. So with all that said, let's grade the game. And Assassin's Creed Valhalla gets a solid 8 out of 10 for several reasons. It has a really captivating world, engaging story, and immersive gameplay. The game also depicts the Viking era in a great way, with detailed graphics and a richly crafted world that really encourages exploration. Additionally, the story is another strong point, offering a very compelling narrative filled with intriguing characters characters and complex relationships. However, the game is not perfect and there are several issues. The side content, while it's very extensive, can sometimes feel quite repetitive. Additionally, the combat system have a quite steep learning curve for newcomers. But despite these drawbacks, it is still a great game, and if you're looking for a game with rich storytelling, engaging mechanics, and a beautiful open world, then Assassin's Creed Valhalla is definitely worth your time and money. For more amazing games, click here.